Good Monday morning, everyone. Man, I can't believe that we are already through July. This is the last pretty much week of July. I can't believe that it's already fixing to be August and school is starting right on the corner. But you guys listening to Author Talk with me, Amy Russell, and our lovely author guest today is Erik. And so you guys, before we dive into anything, I do have to say a happy early birthday to my mother-in-law. It is her 60th birthday tomorrow. We will be going down on the 1st to do her party. So happy early birthday to her. On top of that, it is closing out my birthday season. Sky will be my last one in August, but June and July is like a whirlwind. I'm doing good to know my name, as you guys know. But as far as this weekend, I talked about it last weekend, but I hosted a Super Mario Galaxy movie party for my kids, and I had received marshmallows in the shape of a star from our neighbor for 4th of July. So I had those as like the star that's floating around. We had sandwiches and like a charcuterie board that looked like one of the I don't know, the eating.
Are you crazy?
No, it was fun.
That sounds insane. I'd rather put a bullet in my head.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. So usually we try to do it where the movie's outside, right? And the projector, everything's going. But then that means the movie doesn't start till 9 o'clock because it's just light forever here. And so we ended up just making a giant ass pallet upstairs in my game room. I bought a Fire Stick for that TV and we played it up there so the kids could kind of come and go and get food and do all that kind of crazy stuff. So it was a fun, crazy weekend. Josh also went to a Rangers game on Saturday. So it was, an experienced weekend. As you can tell, he's getting coffee and completely tuning me out. But that was my weekend in a nutshell.
You should take me out.
Oh, Russell, what all did you guys do this weekend? I'm going to go to Erik first because of Russell's comment. So, Erik, what did you do this weekend?
I think I'm still getting over the FIFA World Cup. That was a lot of fun, and it was so fun to share that with Americans and Mexicans, and have like a North American party. I'm not even into soccer, but or football, but I really got into it. And I'm still recovering.
I like it. I'm not one for soccer either, but my neighbor is from Argentina. She's huge into soccer. And so she came to Meta's party, which is on the 4th of July, and her and Josh just sat and talked, and she broke down the whole entire game. And now Josh is like, now I'm a soccer fan.
Now I'm jealous all of a sudden because of that.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have had a beer and listened to those two talk.
So she was, so now we have, I don't know if it's a love for soccer, but it is cool how everybody kind of came together and it was a fun experience. We got to kind of mix. It was a big melting pot, which was a fun experience. So sadly, we have to go to Russell. Russell, what did you do this weekend?
Okay, I did the very opposite of you.
Okay.
You went complete chaos and destruction.
True.
I had my first Tai Chi class.
Oh.
That's the opposite of you. And we've been trying to do it for 6 months because I played pickleball with these older ladies and gentlemen from Asia.
Yeah.
And one of the old men told me, he said, he came over one day and he couldn't speak very good English, but he essentially told me, you need Tai Chi. He said, that's why I stay so young. He's like 90 years old and he kicks my ass on the pickleball.
Oh, man.
So I was like, okay, maybe it's not just a fad or anything because I'm very cynical, Erik, and I'm suspicious of all fads. They're stupid. But maybe it's, not a fad. Maybe it's a thing that I can explore. And so it took us like 6 months to find a place to do it.
Next, you're going to be cold plunging. I have hope. There's hope for you.
Actually, I believe in the cold plunging the way you have evolved it. I thought when you first started, it was kind of stupid.
He did say that.
And it is stupid the way you haven't got the vertical plunge yet.
Those are expensive. You have to dig in the ground and keep it,
I know,
cold.
but the way you do it is the suffering of getting in is too bad. Now she has a hot tub that she can't use for 3 months down here, Erik, because it's way too hot to get in a hot tub in Texas. But she has a cold plunge, she has a hot tub, and she's going to do both together. That's actually pretty therapeutic. So I'm actually not disputing her anymore.
I think Russell's jealous of my mental game Because, you have to get in the cold plunge. I mean, the vertical one we talked about,
jump.
I would like, because you can just jump in. Like, there's no second guessing. When you have to, like, step in and slowly ease your body in.
I can't do it.
The whole time you're sitting like, it's only 30 seconds. I can do this. I can do it. But then you're just like, when you get in there, you're like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, you have to conquer your, like, mental thoughts. Like, I don't know. I guess it's harder to
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm holding out. There's hope for Russell to do it.
We do need to thank our listeners before I attack Erik for something I'm very jealous of him about. And our listeners, Erik, we've been on the air for 10 years, believe it or not. We've only done podcasts for 2 or 3 years, but we're top 1% good pods, top 10% of some of the other podcast channels for author interviews. And we're very humbled because, as we warned you before the show started, this is very informal. We do this because we like each other and we love it. And we love talking to authors and letting them talk about both their craft and their new books and helping them succeed. I could not, once we got on the podcast channels, I couldn't find us because there's like a million podcast shows. But Amy did some things. I don't quite know what she and Dee did, but they did something. And we're easy to find now. Amy, where can people find us on our podcast channels?
Well, so you can find us anywhere that you can search for a podcast. So my go-to has always been Amazon and Spotify. I'm an Android user, so Google Play. You can do Apple. You can go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and see all of our shows.
Hit the hype button for us on our YouTube channel, Amy.
Yeah, but you can go and see how we started to where we are now and probably predict how we're going to go in the future. But you can definitely go over there and see all of those things. As far as what me and Dina did, we're just badass. That's all I can sum it up for. That's generally kind of how it goes.
Erik, it's a little of that is true. If she can slowly get into the ice plunge instead of just jump in and actually lay, I just can't. I couldn't do it. Could you do it?
Yes.
Our version of the ice plunge, I should say in advance,
is going outside.
I'm norther than you are. So we can jump into a lake, and there's either walk slowly into the lake and it slowly climbs up your body, or just jump off the pier.
And do you do it?
Yeah.
I prefer the jump off the pier.
Yeah, right?
How often do you do it?
Well, we get still fairly hot, so I'm not on a regular basis by any means, but weekly.
Yeah,
How often do you do the ice plunge, Amy? Because a weekly is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I used to do it every day until we moved, and now it's just a couple times a week. But I was doing it every day.
A lot. Yeah. A couple times a week's a lot.
It's not that bad. The longest I've sat in there is 11 minutes, but it was only like, I don't know, 40. It was 42 or 38. I don't remember.
You still win, which either it is.
The lowest I have done though is I don't know. There was ice forming on it. So I guess it was like 26. And you're only in there for like maybe a minute, because of hypothermia. But I would love to do what you do. Like I do have a goal at some point, hopefully before I die. I want to go like where, like you have the ice overhead and you like cold plunge in it, but you can look up and it's like the teal water.
I did that on my cruise.
See, that's what I want to do.
One of those snow room. On the cruise, I told you last week, Erik, I was on a cruise a couple of weeks ago, and we never even got off the ship because my wife had an operation. She was recuperating, so we just joined the spa, and we were at the spa all day. And they had like all these rooms: the dry sauna, the wet sauna, the rain sauna, and they had a snow room. It was great, but I don't have the mental discipline you do for that.
I don't want to do it in a wetsuit. I feel like that defeats it, right? But I just want
you don't do it in a wetsuit. You do it in your pajamas.
I know, but I just want to have the opportunity to do it to see if I could do it. I don't know if I could, but I think it'd be cool to look up and see all that. But then I also have a fear of like, what if I get trapped underneath the ice, But I mean, maybe I'll be frozen and preserved. I don't know. I'm going to come back like Captain America.
Oh yeah. You're going to live. Sure.
Russell has very little faith.
And then your husband will get his motorcycle back. So he'll probably encourage you to jump in right away.
Erik,
she made him sell one of his 2 motorcycles so she could like paint the house or something
He had a
stupid.
Honda.
Or stay
a
alive
Honda,
longer.
I know he had a Honda Shadow and a Honda State Line, I think, and
Oh,
he
you know the
sold.
names. That's kind of impressive.
Yes, I know the names. And he sold one of them because he didn't need two. So he sold one of them. And then when we moved here, at the time it was a longer drive for him to go to work. And he's like, "Oh, I don't really need it anymore." But there was a time that I just had a car and he had a motorcycle. So he had a freaking snowsuit on because he would take it in the cold, all these things. And so maybe he'll get one again at some point. But I didn't make him
It's
sell
probably
them.
best if he doesn't. He's probably
No.
past that. He's got 2 little girls. He's got other responsibilities.
I know. He's crazy. So, it's just a crazy, crazy time, especially, I don't know. He's off living his best life now, gardening and doing all kinds of stuff. But, Erik, I want to ask you about your book, Death on the Rocks. So tell us a little bit about it before we dive in and ask you questions. So let us know what that book's about.
Sure. Death on the Rocks is the second in the Suzanne Rickson Mystery series. Short answer is it's kind of a cozy mystery. Longer answer is it's more traditional in the sense that it's closer to an Agatha Christie whodunit than it is to maybe a modern Vicky Delaney, Joanna Fluke cozy mystery. It's solidly based in trying to figure out who the murderer is. And so it's the second in the mystery series, amateur detective, senior sleuth, reluctant to solve the mystery, but has to do it because her husband has been accused of murder.
Oh, see, there it is. I'd probably do the same thing. So tell us how this series kind of evolved and came about for you, the idea came and you decided to write it.
Almost like my detective, I was reluctant to write a mystery. I grew up reading more literature books and wanting to be, the next Hemingway or something like that. Like, dreams come true. But I wrote my first literature book. I don't know if people would even consider it that, but very few people read it. My wife said, "Go get a job. This is not working." And I was like, you know what? If I write genre fiction, maybe people will read it and I can sell more copies and I can make a living out of being a writer. So I was like, give me a second chance. I wrote a mystery, sticking in the boundaries of what people want to read. And I did get more success from it. From there, I started a publishing company and published some of my friends' books. I did an anthology and we donated the money to a local charity. I've been working very much with the community and building the writing community where I live. Death on the Rocks was the second book in this series. Again, it reached a level of success I was very happy with. Working on the third book now.
Nice. So Russell writes psychological thrillers. So you guys are somewhat in the same vein to an extent. But I have a question for you. It is probably left field. If you don't want to answer it, you don't. I'll answer it, I guess. Did you grow up reading like the Hardy Boys and the Nancy Drew books?
No, he's like 30 years too young for that shit.
No, every mystery writer says they do. I'm one of the rare ones that would say no.
No?
I wasn't a big reader when I was young,
Okay.
but I watched a lot of the TV shows. So
Okay.
sitting down with my parents, we watched like Miss Marple on PBS and Remington Steele and Hercule Poirot, Sherlock Holmes. So that was sort of my introduction to mysteries.
Okay.
It wasn't until I started actually saying, okay, I'm going to be a mystery writer that I seriously started reading mysteries.
Yeah. Well, so the reason I asked that is because I was a big Nancy Drew fan. I never read the Hardy Boys, but I was a big
You were a Nancy Drew fan? You're
I
like 70
was.
years too young, young to do.
No, I started reading them in like 6th or 7th grade. I remember sitting down in Mr. Potts science class and I was reading this Nancy Drew book. I don't remember what it was, but it was Nancy Drew. I knew that. But I don't know, 5 years ago, time goes on, quickly when you have children. But eons ago, I realized that Amazon Prime had done a Hardy Boys series.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even realize that. And I had watched it. And I was like, I never read these books. But when you were mentioning like your mystery and all this, I was like, I wonder if he's read these. That's why I said, you don't have to answer. But I'm just curious if you had or not. So because you said it's a series. So my question, do you leave book 1 on a cliffhanger to go to book 2?
No, a lot of, I haven't.
Yeah, just tell her whether it's true or not, because otherwise she's going to crucified.
Science fiction will often have that cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
Cozy mysteries or mysteries in general often are mysteries that are standalone. Like you could read one book in a series and be perfectly happy if it's book 3 and be set in that world. Can you're surrounded in that mystery. I think I'm a little bit different in the sense that there is an arc that is going through the movie or through the books, through the series. And the characters are developing more than a traditional series would. There are long-standing feuds that Suzanne has, and those don't go away. But you can read the books individually. There's no cliffhanger. Like you have to wait 2 years before I answer that question.
That makes me happy. Makes me very happy because nothing makes me more mad than sitting on a cliffhanger for 11 years. Just say that's towards Dina because her book left me on a cliffhanger for 11 years. But
I would not do that to you.
Thank you. I don't think readers want that.
If you heard what she said about Dina's cliffhanger book that she's still mad about, you would do it to her because she loves that book so much.
It literally is the book that gave me my first book hangover. So speaking of book hangovers, what was one of your top mystery books that you read that made you fall in love with the genre that you write in?
Well, I guess there's our king and our queens, right? Like Louise Penny is a brilliant mystery writer, and she deals with different types of mystery, like the subgenres of mystery, and she gives us a whole vast world of it. And I'm in awe of her. Like when I said I wanted to be the next Hemingway when I was younger, now the goal is to be the next Louise Penny, and I hope she doesn't hear that. I really enjoy when you can fool me. I've read so much mystery, I've watched so much mystery, and when you're like, oh, I did not see that. Well done. I did not see that turn of events. I like you podcast. I'm only 3 years into it, but I talk to authors all the time.
You just muted yourself.
See, now you're leaving me on a cliffhanger. No, you have to unmute it. I tried to help you.
He's still not talking to us.
This cliffhanger is killing me, but I do like it. Russell, what was the book that you read that made you love your psychological thrillers?
It was Sherlock Holmes. The Sherlock Holmes stuff is what I always loved. But I also, when my kids were very, very young, we would play Jane Marple movies we had them all on VHS. That tells you how long ago that was.
I don't know what those are.
Yeah. Are you kidding, right? Is that a joke?
No, I know what a VHS is. I don't know the series you're talking about. I've never heard
there was
of
a Jane Marple series in the 30s. There was a skinny Jane Marples during one series, and there was a fat one. And we loved the fat one. And she did like 12 little movies of Jane Marple movies. And we had all of them on VHS. And all the kids would get their sleeping bags and sleep on the floor in our bedroom. And we would all go to sleep to Jane Marple movies every weekend.
I'll have to look those up. They've got to be on Prime. If the Twilight Zone's on Prime, those have to be. I'll have to look them up. Eric, can we hear you?
Yeah, sorry. I got so animated, I knocked my wire out.
I've done
you
that.
have to get BritBox.
Oh, I have that too. I watched the Grace series when we had Peter James on. I went and watched his whole series on there. It's fantastic. So
yes, Peter James. Eric, have you ever read Peter James? He's actually the Queen of England. It's her favorite mystery writer. We had him on the show. He's very cool. He was a sports car driver, racer until he had a big crash and his wife made him quit.
Yeah, but he's like a detective mystery.
Like a totally cool guy, and he writes his mysteries. And the Queen had actually called him or texted him while she was flying to Australia for an official visit, complaining to him that she was still waiting on the next book.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And Amy went crazy and has been Peter James everything since then.
Well, he's my bestie. I've gotten to talk to him twice, so I told him we're just besties at this point, is how it was. But he writes detective mystery, like psychological thrillers at the same time. That's what he writes. But I have BritBox, so I'm going to go and check it out because some of the stuff y'all are mentioning, I have no idea. It's kind of like the art gallery conversation all over. I'm kind of like a fish out of water here.
Yeah,
so
Eric.
it's good.
So yeah, last week we had a paint. Was it? It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We had a painter on who had written a book about painting, and she and I got all into this Southern France Van Gogh conversation on the show. And Amy is like, "What the hell are we talking about?"
Yeah, it was. It was fun. It was a fun time. Really, it was. I was like a deer in headlights. I'm not gonna lie
I had a
to you.
blast.
Yeah, he had a blast with that.
It's
whole
like what I'm
moment.
about to pick on you about, but we're not there yet. Let's keep on the book till I get there.
But yeah, so I do have a question for you. So you have your sleuth is an older sleuth. So what made you do the the decision to have an older protagonist?
Good question. I was wondering that too.
Originally I got a lot of flack for it, and when I tried to traditionally publish, I was told no, you can't do that.
Why? Why did they say that?
When I asked enough questions and somebody honestly gave me an answer, I was told that women primarily like to read their age group or younger. So I would alienate everyone your age, Amy.
Oh,
people her age don't read except in India anyway, so you don't care about her.
I mean,
if it's the over 35
I'm 34 and I read and listen to but I'm
kind of close to 40.
Hey,
she's
shut
almost
your
in the
mouth.
lady class.
Close
but
to
I mean, they're the ones that buy the books.
No, women between 35 and 55 read plenty. Way more than men.
Oh yeah,
it's 80%. Men don't read. Men are morons.
Well, they read more like nonfiction.
My dad hasn't read my books. So.
Oh man!
There you go. Eric won the argument.
You win. You win.
And my characters, Suzanne and Charles, are actually based on them. So
okay.
They live where my parents live.
Do you do the jokes in your books about that you think of about your parents, or is that off limits?
No, nothing's off limits.
Fair.
My mom is logical, quiet, always thinking about politics. My dad is fun and outgoing, like Russell, and everybody loves him. And those are my characters.
I love it. And the great thing about that, this is something I can identify with seriously. You know them so intimately that it just makes your characters, it makes you able to multi-dimensionalize your characters. Right?
Yeah.
You can make the good guys have bad qualities because you know them. Right?
It's true. And I mean, I don't see them as bad qualities. I see them as
but sometimes they
qualities.
are.
And yes, there's the bickering between the two of them that married couples of 50 years are going to have.
That's me. Can you imagine someone disagreeing with me that's been married that long?
He's also a lawyer. Can you also imagine that?
And an awesome guy, but that's another story. Wait till we get to what I'm going to pick on you about. Keep talking about your parents.
Well, even the plot of my first story was my mom was having a very big disagreement with the Strata or the HOA president.
Right.
And that was the what if question that started the first novel of.
That's excellent.
And
it's
then
a common
Strata's
feature that you start a mystery from. That makes me want to read it, Eric.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Oh, okay. So obviously, if you have an older main character, right, they're gonna change from
his
book
mom and dad.
So how does Susan change from book 1 to book 2?
It's the level of confidence. She's 66 years old in the first book. She's never solved a mystery before. She's never been asked to solve a mystery before. That is something that the police are supposed to do. She is framed for the murder of her friend, and she starts to feel that the only way that she's going to clear her name is to solve the mystery and find out who really did do it. It's a trope of amateur mysteries, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if they're Encyclopedia Brown at a young age or Suzanne Rickson or Miss Marple. You stumble upon your first mystery. On the second mystery, it happens in a peripheral. It's her husband's theater troupe that has the murder. She's not really ingrained into that society, but she starts to feel that if she herself doesn't step in, the police aren't going to get it right.
Makes sense.
I like that. That's much like the Jane Marple second book.
Yeah, very much so. It's in some ways it's Miss Marple in today's age with a
I like
family.
that.
So she's not.
I'm gonna have to watch this
she's
show.
not spinster.
Jane Marple.
I'm gonna
I
have
love her
to
too,
watch
yes.
it.
Yeah, those 30s, the fat lady actress, Jane Marple, she mastered because she would do the comedy, but she would act it seriously. It's just the best. You got to watch it.
I will.
And so
I'll put
I'm
it on
dying
my
to
list.
see this.
And they're solid mysteries. That's the thing I like about it the most.
Oh.
It's there's a murder that happened. There's so many suspects.
Yeah.
There's all these quizzes. There's these red herrings. It's
are
the
these
beginning of true mysteries.
Are these in color or are they in black and white?
He's talking about his book.
Oh,
No, I'm talking about both.
Yeah, he's talking about his show.
I love the show
They're in
too.
black and white, which is much more mysterious.
No,
Okay.
only the first few are black and white, and then it goes to color.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember that.
Well,
I'm not saying you're wrong, Eric. I just said I don't remember.
Well, they've been doing them for a long time.
I know.
Hey, so when you write your book, I got to ask him a few questions
Go.
about his writing. Okay. Number one, when you're writing your book in your brain, is it in color or black and white?
Definitely color.
Really? Okay, that's really
Oh.
interesting. Number two is, how many times do you outline the book with the ending before you write the first word?
I'm
Yeah, you
a
knew
little
I was
bit
going to ask this, Amy.
Yeah, I'm a little in between. I like to formulate my characters first. So that's my outlining.
Even before you outline the story?
I want to know, I guess, a loose plot, and I maybe have the murder in my mind, but I've changed it before. And I want to delve into the souls of my characters. And that's where it sort of starts. And as I develop them and their voices speak in my head, the story changes. And then I might write down the end. Like, I think it's this person, and I think this is the motive of why they did it. And then I go from there, and I try to keep creative juices open as I write. I know some people plot everything from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm an outliner.
I'll do that to a certain degree. Like, I'll write point A and I'll write point Z, but I might not know what M is.
Is that because your characters become so alive they start doing what they want instead of what you want, and they change your story?
A little
Is
bit.
that
Like I said, in
Talk
Death
to
on the
us about
Rocks, on Death on the Rocks, I originally had what if Charles, my father figure, was accused of murder. And as I was writing it, I was like, nobody would believe it. No matter what I do, all his friends, even the police, would be like, no, Charles is not a murderer. And I started to write that, and it had to change to be like, oh no, I need to actually throw the blame onto somebody else who looks perceivably guilty, because nobody, even in the second book, nobody's going to believe that Charles did it. My reader's never going to believe that Charles possibly could have done it. So it doesn't.
Was that true, or did your mother shame you into changing it?
No, that's 100% true. 100% true. My outline had to change as I wrote the book.
Okay, has your characters made you change who died in a book?
Ooh.
In other words, you had your story, the way you talk about it, kind of in your head, but you don't outline like me. But as you fell in love with these characters, say, I'm not killing this guy.
No,
I'm killing that guy.
No, that hasn't happened yet. I don't have a high body count either, so I know who the victim is early on, and I do make them likable characters sometimes, but leaving them early isn't that hard to do. You're not too attached to that person at that point.
I could
Well,
see
that
that.
is a question. How attached in your next book? Because if you write the series, that implies you're writing the next. In the next book, uh, are you inclined to make your readers more attached to someone before you kill them? Do you kill the characters early in, or do you make the readers? Uh, but this is actually something I like to do. I like to make the readers like a character so much they almost panic when I go after them.
I
I
don't
do
know.
love to do that. I've actually been
um,
screamed at in the middle of readers reading books because how could you do that?
I think partially because you and I write different things. Um, like sometimes when I'm in a critique group and they tell me like more tension, and it's like, no, tension is not what I'm doing. I'm not killing off the dog or or the beloved characters that you've fallen in love with. I'm not trying to write Game of Thrones by any means and shock people with a red wedding. You're supposed to like
Oh, I love that illiterate. Thank you for
That was
using
pretty
those
good.
words.
you're supposed to sit down on a summer day on a beach towel and read my book and find it as pleasant as the beach.
I love that.
Well, so how do you balance, right? Because you said they're like cozy, warm mysteries. So then how do you balance like humor with warmth with your mystery tone?
It's a weird thing when it comes to mysteries because somebody does have to die.
Yeah.
So we are dealing with life and death scenarios.
Yes, but you are resistant to the death part. I can tell it.
It's not resistant. It's just I'm killing off somebody you don't know yet. So you're not attached to this person. They're dead within
Okay,
chapter
that's
2.
a good. That's a good. Answer.
The characters themselves might be attached to them, so some of the trauma of what happened still resides in them. But I don't think my reader has an attachment to the people that die. And then quite often I'll kill somebody off in the middle, but again, it's still not somebody you've grown attached to. So you might be a little surprised that this person died.
Because you want to keep this a pleasant read.
But
right?
I want to keep it a pleasant read.
I totally get that.
The fun of it is the puzzle. Like the puzzle of who did it, how are we going to get there? Is it going to make sense? And did they give me enough clues that I could have figured it out if I followed close enough attention to it? So nothing happens off scene that you, the reader, are not privy to. Okay. You are privy to everything that Suzanne sees.
Okay, you just said something that made a question blow up in my head. Okay, who is your trusted beta reader that is hypercritical enough and experienced enough to tell you have too many clues in or you haven't got enough clues in? Who does that for you?
It's my wife. And
okay.
We always, she's like my harshest critic in the world.
I like it.
And you're not complaining about her by saying that.
No, because she tells me often what I'm meant to hear. I've heard you talk about your relationship with your editors.
Yes,
I've had similar editors like that too.
He does.
But my wife is brutal, and it almost starts fights because there's certain expectations.
Because it hurts your feelings that when some of the things she tells you, right?
She does, and I may not talk to her for a few hours, and then
I totally get it. You don't need to talk to her if she probably says some of those things about your writing.
And then I have to weigh her advice, which often is right.
You got to sleep on it, and the next day see if she's right.
It
but
is,
not
yes.
that night.
I have a couple of older friends, my mom's friends, who are my beta readers also, but they're much nicer. So I love giving it to them. And
they're going to
lie. Oh, you're brilliant. I love this story.
Yeah, they're going to lie to you. You can't trust those people.
I know, but my ego
because she
needs
didn't
to
give a
balance
shit whether you like it or not.
That's true.
My ego has to balance between my wife's harsh criticism and the compliments.
You go to your mother's friends when you need someone to pat you on the back.
Yeah.
After your wife has stabbed you in the chest with the truth.
I do both around the same time because at the same time,
I totally get that.
I want to because I'm telling the stories of seniors. They're having problems that I haven't yet experienced.
Yeah.
That's true, but you experience it through your mom and dad, so you actually know it well.
Yeah, so I want to hear you get us. like you understand what it is to live in a seniors community.
You need a pat on the head.
Well, I also need to be told if I'm doing it wrong. So like,
Well, that's your
Suzanne,
wife's job.
not the senior experience.
Yeah.
So like my like Suzanne, in her backstory, she fell a few years back and she hurt her hip, and it's never recovered.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get you make her too frail, and it's like, well, it's not because she's 66 years old. It's because she has a bad hip and she's nearing the point of needing hip replacement, and this shows. There's also an 85-year-old who's super spry and is everywhere.
Nice. Nice. Man, I don't know.
I
Now
actually
I'm
know
thinking
that guy's
about it.
name's Peter, and he lives in London.
Oh,
He's like
that's
my
true.
hero.
Yeah.
He actually
But
climbed Mount Everest at 70. Can you freaking believe that?
I can't believe it at all.
I couldn't either.
You're telling me
I mean,
stories.
I know. Except if you met Peter, you would say, okay, this guy's awesome. I believe everything he says, whether it's true or not, because he's
Yeah.
awesome. He's like my superhero. My sons laugh
Yeah.
at it when they see him.
Well, that's my Connie. She's like 85 years old. She's
Right.
ex-Greenpeace. She was a teacher for many years. She still
She's
feels,
Greenpeace. That was cool.
yeah, so she feels like she still is mentoring Suzanne because she's 20 years her senior.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's super opinionated. But she does what a 20-year-old would do.
nice.
I love that.
I like it. Man, it just made me start thinking about, like in a senior home. I can't wait till I get to one of those. Can you picture all the millennials in a senior home? I mean, that thing's gonna be like a
I'll
big
never
drunk
make it
fest.
there.
We're
They'll
gonna
never
be playing
send.
beer pong, but with electrolytes. Like, I'm excited for this time period in millennials' life. It's probably the only claim to millennial I will actually do. But yeah, man, I like that. I think that's cute to kind of write from that standpoint. But okay, so I have two questions for you. One's going to feed into the other. What do you hope readers kind of get like from the end of your book? Like last week on our show, he was talking about how when you turn the last page and you're like, man, like I didn't see that, or I figured out who it was, or whatever. What do you hope readers get at the end of your book?
I hope they get the satisfaction that the old mysteries used to give you of, wow, that was a clever plot. And that was a clever whodunit, and it was believable. And I could have. You're supposed to feel like an inch away from getting it yourself. Like, oh, I should have got it. If you have that feeling, and all the clues were there, and I didn't see through the red herrings, and that's all the things of the golden age of mysteries. And I hope to sort of bring back that feeling.
Man, those things make me mad, but like mad in like a good way. Like where you want to read it because you're like, I'm determined to figure out the next one. That, I don't know, maybe I'm more competitive, I guess, with myself. So that's kind of how it like feeds for me.
Well, a lot of times, I think in modern ones nowadays, it's more cozy than it is mystery. And I don't want to demean what they're doing.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like the reader had no chance of getting it. It was the barista who you met in 3 scenes.
You set us up for
they had a
failure.
secret crush. Yeah, and like all the plot what ifs kind of end with dead ends. And sometimes the detective stumbles upon figuring out what happened as opposed to figuring out what happened themselves.
Nice. I like books like that. They keep me, they keep me engaged and on the seat, like the edge of my seat kind of thing. So with that question, what is next for Susan?
I'm working on the 3rd book. I'm like 50,000 words in. I've actually written the end, and now I have to beef it up a little bit. What is going to happen is the antagonist from the 1st book reappears, sort of like the Moriarty character.
Oh, okay.
Suzanne was hoping never to run into this person again. Her name's Regina Snow. You talked about cliffhangers. I don't call it a cliffhanger, but at the end of Death on the Rocks, it says, "Tune in for the next book in the return of Regina Snow." So that her.
Okay, it's like Regina George from the Mean Girls. I feel like Regina should get that rap.
Yeah, it's Regina. It's the same Regina, but Regina wronged her in the 1st book, and in the 3rd book, I'm going to do something that you don't expect as a reader. Regina's actually asking for her help, and Suzanne has to decide if she's going to help her antagonist.
Oh man. I don't know if I could. I mean, I don't know. I could do it, but I would be pretty mouthy when I did it. You know,
Well,
I am a mouthy person.
I think she's ambushed by Regina, and Charles is like, "How did you not hit her?" And she's like, "I would never do that," but in her head, she's like, "Oh, I was close."
Oh, I'm telling you, my favorite phrase right now and just the era that I'm in is like throat punch. There's some days I just in my head I've throat punched a lot of people and I feel a lot better. You know, it's kind of like the rock paper scissors throat punch kind of shirt day. You know,
I've seen her do that, Eric.
it's one of those. It's one of those things. The looks on my face, like you can obviously tell it, but I just don't say it. So I can
Suzanne
understand.
has the very same feeling.
Oh, good.
And she thinks in her head, if she attacks quickly, she can call it self-defense.
I mean, I like a good loophole, so I fully support that. But Russell, you had a question for Erik about where he's located.
I had lots of questions,
Sorry.
but I've given up on time. We ran out of time. Eric's going to have to come back. Erik, when you finish your third book, would you please contact us so we can be one of your first interviews about your next book? Because I have like 30 minutes of additional questions on you about. I hadn't even got to start picking on you yet because I've been so interested in the book and the characters and the way you do things.
Thank you, Russell.
So
I'm still coming at you, but in the next chapter.
That's a huge compliment because he doesn't ever say that. So take it in stride. It's a big compliment.
You're going to be one of my new beta readers who gives me all the compliments.
Heck yeah.
No, I won't. But during the next show, we do want a guest appearance by your wife to hear her version of everything. So just know we want to be one of the first podcasts for the book 3, and we need a guest appearance of your wife. So just check with her before you book us.
She'd be horrified.
I bet she can let you have it if she wants to.
I think it'll be fun. My husband's only made like 1 or 2 guest appearances, so I get it. I understand.
They like to keep their world different.
I get it.
They're separated from my world. She'll come to my book launch, and that would be extensive.
I totally get it.
You know, in southeast Texas, that's what you call crawfishing. Because you're backing out.
I will push her for you.
By the way, you should use that word in a book. Whenever I hear something as colorful as crawfishing, or I'm reminded of a term used when I was a child that's that colorful. I always wind up having to stick that in the book because I invent characters just to say words like that because they're just so fun to write.
You know, 4th book, I will add one.
Nice. I love it. He's going to hold you to it. But
you're
Erik,
giving me some inspiration.
Where can people go to learn more about you and about your books? So tell us where people can find you and your books.
I think the easiest is erikdesouza.com. ErikDSouza. I'm very lucky to have a fairly original name. Erik is my dad's into Vikings, so I'm named after Erik the Red. But I have a Portuguese last name. Portuguese last name. So that combination gives me pretty unique that even Googling me, you'll find it quickly. And I'm always happy
Portuguese Vikings. The Vikings went all around the Iberian Peninsula.
Oh, now you've set him off. Now you've just set him off.
I don't think they made friends with the Portuguese.
They did not make friends, but they did make land.
They may have made a few babies, but not much choice.
Oh my goodness. Well, Erik, this has been a great conversation. And Russell's already invited you back for book 3. So we need you to wrap that up so you can come back and Russell can ask you.
Get through your wife's instructions and get it fixed.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Russell. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and hang out with us. So you guys, we hope that you all have a fantastic Monday, a great last week of July, getting ready for August. And until next Monday, bye for now, everybody.